What's up, everyone? Beat the boss here. Sorry about this, I completely forgot to talk about the game before I started. But today we're starting a brand new colony from scratch. If you've never seen this game before, it's a massive industry management and factory building game where we start with a small group of survivors and turn them into a fully automated industrial powerhouse. We need to manage resources, mine the landscapes, build factories, produce food, and keep our workers happy while trying not to completely destroy the environment in the process. In this first episode, our main goal is survival. We'll get our settlement established, set up some basic mining operations, and secure food production and begin laying the foundation for the industrial empire we're going to build throughout this series. I've played plenty of management and factory games before, but Captain of Industry has a reputation for being one of the deepest and most challenging, so things could get interesting pretty quickly. If you enjoy factory building games, city builders, automation, or just watching me make questionable decisions while learning, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future episodes. Alright, enough talking, let's fire up the engines, start digging and begin building the industrial empire. On hard, so we'll have a couple of look at these maps here. Let's see what we've got. There's a couple of different maps here. Some of them are harder than others. As well as you can choose different spawn locations as well. I think we might go the Armageddon. But what we'll do is we won't spawn here, we might spawn... We've got a couple of different areas. We've got two hard locations. So we've got one here as well as one over here. So yeah, make sure there's oil on both of them before we do it. But yeah, there should be pretty much all sorts of resources. I reckon we might go with this one here. And we'll go for that. This is just a zoomed in version. And we will be spawning on this one here. So we have a bit of coal here, as well as some copper and some iron and limestone there. Some water and some oil. And there is some uranium down in the crater there that we can work towards when we start going into nuclear. So we'll go for that. It's going to be an insane difficulty. So yeah, we'll go with that one. We'll also just play as... what have we got? We'll just go Captain. We've already got a pretty hard start at the moment, and whatnot. And we'll go ore sorting. And we can also go with... We've got realism plus plus. We won't play around with the reduced world mines. We'll leave that as is. Once we start getting our production pretty big, we will be starting to run out of that, and we'll have to start looking at other alternatives. Anyway, so we got people die from starvation, vehicles can't move without fuel, ships can't move without fuel, and can't use utility as a remedy. Pumps stop working if groundwater is depleted. Alright, so that's just realism. Now when you go to realism plus plus, all these are already into it. So with realism plus plus, we also will have machines and other machine consumers stop working when broken. Machines and other maintenance consumers. Builds and storage units require power to function and stop working without it, and quick repair action is not available. So we might go with realism plus plus, and we'll go to next. We'll go customize difficulty. We'll have a look here. We're going to say that they always consume. Solar power production, we'll keep that as standard. Loan conditions, we'll leave that at standard. We'll leave all that. What else we got? Extra star materials, ore mining yield. What we might do is leave that. That's enabled. And we'll leave this as a partial refund. So we make sure we place as we go. And we'll randomise this up. Pirate Cove sounds pretty good. Play around with the seeds a bit, and we'll go with that. And I'll catch you when it's loaded. Alright, now it's all done loading. You can have a look. It gives us a few messages on how to do some basic stuff, tree harvesting and iron scrap smelting and the welcome, as well as logistics for trucks and machinery and world exploration. So we don't need any of that. This is our main ship. This is what we'll be doing a lot of our exploration with out here and all of that sort of stuff. We do have a couple of settlements with some people. We also have 70 slots free for some more people, and we start off with this little abandoned communication station, which has a bit of scrap and some concrete for us to start off with. I also have the game paused. It's have a bit of a look around at what we can sort of get around to. Copper is going to be a bit of a hard start to get to, because copper is up on a hill, and if we click L we can actually see what sort of materials around, how deep they are, and sort of how much there is. So there's a lot of copper here as well as iron, but we will eventually have to work on trying to get some more once we start running low on that. There's also a little bit of sand here for us, and the water that we'll need is all the way up here, so we won't be getting that anytime soon, not until we flatten this out, and we can start getting somewhere with it. We've only got a very few trees here. A lot of the other trees are up here, so we have got a very, very hard start, or as I said, insane. So we will see how we go. Alright, so first thing we'll do, since we've got some scrap there, is we also have some resources just sitting in our boat, or in our shipyard at the moment. So we have a little bit of coal, a little bit of electronics, as well as some vehicle parts, some mechanical parts, construction parts, rubber and fuel, and a little bit of copper to just get us started. So the first thing we'll do is we'll actually build one of these. This is already going to use 60 out of our 480 construction parts, so we won't be getting too hectic with that. We'll just be starting something small, and I'll actually just be building this right here, and we'll pause that so it is in build mode, so we can not worry about, as we're building, consuming resources, because we only get a partial refund. We'll also get a smokestack there, as well as a metal caster. We'll get 2 of these, because one of these puts out 24 and these handle 12, so we can run the 2. We also have a molten channel, which we will connect up to there. Actually, before we do that, we'll actually move these over just a touch, so they're not so far away when getting the molten channels in, because they do also cost us 28 per 100 tiles. So I'm not too sure how much it's going to cost. So it's only going to cost 2. It is pretty cheap. Where is I'll get rid of that. Okay, so I don't actually have build mode unlocked yet, so we'll just pause all that. Yeah, I just built that by accident. Oh well, that will be fine. We'll do that. So now we've got a little bit of iron going on. That will be the start of building, as well as we will want a farm in here somewhere, and put it pretty close to here for now. What is this height? Can't really see what the height is of this already, because we can't mine. 0.3. I generally try and level this out as much as I can. That's 6, but that's 3, so that will be alright. So we got a farm there that will start producing us potatoes over time, and that will be what we use to feed our residents here. Now we'll also get some tree harvesters going, or the one that we have. We only have one tree harvester. We'll also assign one truck, and since we only have a little bit of coal, we will also make a coal maker, and I'll chuck that to the side there for now with a smokestack there. And we'll also need to build a waste collection, and we'll have to be able to dump that in places. We'll also need some diesel generators. I'm just going to stick to one. That should be all we need. There's nothing built at the moment. These produce 800 kilowatts. So with this here, this needs... these actually don't need any electricity, neither does that. Okay, so nothing actually requires electricity here just yet, but when we come to belts and stuff like that, we will need to have electricity. So we'll put that on pause, as well as all that, for now, and we'll leave all that. Actually, we might even unpause this, because this will be one of the first things we make. Unpause all that, and I accidentally built that one. Alright, so now we've got a pretty solid foot in the ground. We will also need a research centre to start our research. So there is a research tree here, and as we slowly progress, we can unlock bigger vehicles. So we start getting some amphibious vehicles that they recently added, as well as some large vehicles. So we got larger excavators and trucks, and then we move eventually down to hydrogen, and we keep going. We can also get haul trucks and mega excavators, which are good for when you're starting to really excavate material. Now, since this ore and what we'll be mining will be mixed, we will also need a ore sorter, which would be... Actually, I don't have one, so we don't need it. So we'll start the research tree, we'll have a look around. Alright, so some of the stuff we'll need is we will get assembly going straight away. After assembly, we will also get our iron smelting from scrap. I find that quite strange, seeing that we've already got that unlocked. Okay, so we do need that. I didn't realise it's already actually got a tick there. We will also get some maintenance going after that, as well as some storage units and the tools, because then the tools allow me to be able to be in planning mode and all of that good stuff. We won't worry about captain's office just yet. We will need to get some basic fuel, or basic diesel happening, as well as some water, and then we'll queue up the beacon as well as the ship dock and rubber. So So just queuing up some of this stuff. It will take time for it to get there. And we will slowly be progressing to the tier 2, which this is your tier 2 here. This is what will get you onto your tier 3. Once you unlock this, this is your tier 3 here. This is actually all still tier 1, so all this whole section is tier 1. Then you've got this section, that's all tier 2. And as you unlock your tier 2, you'll then get your tier 3, tier 4, and then that's your last tier 4. That's your tier 4 there. And start getting pretty in-depth with space and all the other good stuff. So now we've got that, we can now we'll also set up a dumping ground somewhere for the landfill, because I don't incredibly want to be chucking landfill anywhere that it shouldn't be. Another thing that I should probably have a look at is for our mining. So that's for advanced logistics. We should have the mining here somewhere. Or is that in the start of tier 2? No, it should be in tier 1. It's tree planting. We will need to get that pretty quick. There. So it's 5th on the queue. So yeah, we won't be getting that straight away. At the moment, as long as we're careful with how we use our parts and consume our resources, we should be all right. And we will slowly get going from there. Alright, so we'll unpause the time. We'll see our vehicles starting to work. Our tree harvester's going out. And all of our trucks are now starting to pick up the resources to start building everything. We will also need to get the water going ASAP so we can start producing more potatoes as we get along. We shouldn't need power just yet, so I'll leave that as not being built. We're also getting a few of our goals done here. So we need to assign 2 trucks to our tree harvester, and now we're starting to consume power, so we'll actually get this being built. And we'll let that queue up. We are now starting to produce a bit of iron plates now. And we will also be producing coal with our wood that we're harvesting. I don't want to harvest too much wood as we have no source of it anywhere else, so I sort of do want to hold on to that. We should now be starting to produce power, and we will be using 5% of this, so we won't really need too much at all. Yeah, as that's working, we will slowly be getting there with it, as this thing is slowly working. Alright, so we will say we can burn some trees if needed. We won't have a ridiculous amount going into here. He's collecting iron scrap, dropping it off. We've now got some iron plates being produced. Might just speed up time here a little bit. And we actually just got a reward for the iron production, which gives us 50 fuel, 50 plates, 50 construction parts and 30 vehicle parts. So we'll collect that. We've also got to wait for our harvest, and we've got to harvest 20 potatoes. We have 47 coming in 2.2 months, so we will wait for that. As well as research construction, which we are slowly doing. We need to designate a dumping zone for waste. Now, we don't really have much waste at the moment, so I'm not too worried about that just yet. As we are slowly gaining the trees, we have almost harvested all the trees that we have here. I don't know if they can actually access up here or drive up here, but we will just designate some of these. I don't know if they'll actually be able to drive up this, because that does get a bit steep there, but maybe they might be able to drive around some sort of way. That does look like they would be able to drive up that. Another way we can check is we can actually have a look at this camera here. So yeah, so they can drive up here, they can get up to here, and yes, so they can get up the top. We will eventually work that out a lot smoother, so it's not so much of a not so much of a drive around all of this. We will flatten it out eventually, and once we start getting this down level is we will start also getting into this and the pure stuff out of it. Right, so we're slowly getting there with our production. When we get there, I will be back. Alright, so we just got that upgrade, or we've just finished our research for the construction here. So now that unlocks the assembly level 1. So we can now start creating plates. I don't really want to do that just yet, as we don't really have many trees left. We still have 261. We also did have a harvest happen with our farm that we can collect 40 more potatoes as well as 20 construction parts from. We also need to build an assembler, so we will start that. It's in one of these, here we go. So this is our assembler. I'm just going to place it here for now. We don't have any conveyor belts, so this will all eventually be moved around once we are a bit more solid into the ground here, and we don't have to worry so much about these resources. So we'll let that build. These guys are here to drop off the parts, which they're doing now. It's got all of them, so we'll select materials. How are we doing? So we can have a look here. We will also be pinning on our electronics as well as mechanical parts. We will also have pinned there. So we're not really using too much of them. We have used a little bit of our plates. So what we might do is we might just set that up to make those for now, and everyone will deliver that stuff off. I'm not too worried about the trees now. I have also had a look that they can get up there, and they can get most of this ridge around here as well as up through here, and same thing around here. I don't think they could have got through here, so we'll expand that as we get around. Right, so now we've got to produce our construction parts. We've got 4 out of 8. So this thing's slowly working away. We get 6 every 60 seconds. So we'll wait for that, as well as we need to have a look for a dumping zone. This isn't too full yet, so we will set this dumping zone up. We also need maintenance, so we will set this down somewhere. We'll just go alongside this farm for now, so it's out of the way, and that will slowly get built. That will then consume the maintenance with mechanical parts as well as electronics. So we might just build a second assembler here and put it side by side, and this one here is going to be making we'll get this one making the electronics, as well as we'll get one more to make some mechanical parts, And since we've got iron there, we've got 104 iron sitting here. They are currently storing it into this building here, I believe, or it is sitting here. There's 40 in there, and there is 64 there, so we will start consuming that. These guys will start getting maintenance as well as the wire, and we can start getting our maintenance up. When there's no maintenance, our vehicles actually stop moving, which is part of the Realism Plus Plus. But since we've got that there, we don't have to worry about it. So we've now completed our maintenance, as well as our construction parts. So we can collect awards. This will give us 50 wood, 60 vehicle parts, as well as 30 construction parts. So we'll take that, and 40 more wire and 50 more construction parts. So we'll take that. Now we'll set up this dumping zone for now. I will set this up. I don't really like dumping in the water because it creates landfill, and I eventually burn this stuff away with incinerators and making energy out of it. So we'll set this up. We'll just make a small little patch there, and that is going to be for the waste. Then we'll have a truck heading over here shortly, which is this one, and he will go to pick that stuff up. We currently have 33, so that will complete that. It also wants us to build a trading dock now, and we can set that up there, and that's going to cost us 100 wood. We do have 38, as long as this guy's also got wood here. I don't know how much he has. I believe trees have 18 once they're fully grown. Yeah, okay, so we've now also got that done. Gives us 80 concrete as well as 50 construction parts, so we'll collect that. The trading, we're about to build this dock here, and then we've also got iron ore mining, so we're not quite there yet, but we are almost at our basic diesel. Once we get our basic diesel, we can then find where that oil is, and the oil is all the way down here, so that is going to be a big issue for us. So we have to be extremely careful with our diesel. As long as we don't run out of diesel, we can keep our vehicles moving. If we do run out of diesel, that's just not good. But we should be able to slowly work around it. I do think our tree harvester is, I know he's still down here, he's just finished the last tree, so now he'll be actually heading off and heading up here to start mining these trees, or chopping these trees, sorry. And we also have our construction parts being made, as well as electronics and our mechanical parts, and that's what's keeping this maintenance going. We have had a pretty heavy drop in the maintenance. We did have 80, and now we're going all the way down, down to 60. So we are starting to drop pretty quick. This is set up on a monthly basis, so the first of every month. We don't have enough data for those, so we can only use this. But yeah, it's had a dramatic drop, so we don't really want to be messing around with that. Now we do have Unity up here. We have capacity of it. This is what we can use to boost certain things, so we can actually boost this machine so it doubles the throughput while consuming Unity, and also ignores electricity requirements. So if it needs electricity, it doesn't actually need it when we've got it boosted. It will actually get rid of that. Alright, well, I'm going to leave it there. We have now got the basics sorted. About to have the trading dock done. It only needs 2 more wood. I might just speed up time here real quick just to let it get that last tree down here. But yeah, they have been travelling along here. Once we start mining into this coal, there is quite a good chunk of it here. Once we start mining into that, we won't need this coal maker anymore. And here he comes down here, and the tree harvester's coming back because he has no fuel. That is okay. And we've also unlocked our storage units as well. So now our trading dock's done. Purchase concrete slab for iron. We will do that actually really quick. So we just do that, and that will complete that. We also get more concrete as well as some more construction parts. Alright, I will leave that there. Hope you enjoyed. If you like what you see, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. And thanks again. Have a good one.